Okay. And hello. Okay, everybody. Welcome to week 3 of the serialized reading of Conflict of Interest. Previously, on the last 2 weeks, we met Tim Boland and Chloe Shore in college, and we saw them become friends, become journalists. Tim Boland took on the pen name of Tuck Brockton and works for Emma at Hip Entertainment Magazine. He was having a conflict of he was having a crisis of his. Oh my god, I got all flustered. he was getting all insecure. He was just insecure, freaking mess. And Chloe picked up his spirits and then came up to him with a new assignment. But he had a conflict of interest with interviewing Emma Embry, because they had a history in the past. And so now, will he bring up that history or will he let it go? That's where we are now. So everybody introduce yourselves.
Hi, I'm Tristan Andrews-Preston, and I am playing Tuck Brockton.
Hi, I'm Kaitlyn Marshall, and I'm playing Emma Embry.
Hi, I'm Adrienne Paquin, and I'm playing Chloe Shore, who is Tuck's boss and best friend.
Yes. Sorry for getting flustered. Okay, so I'm going
to you, Alex.
I'm going to disappear, and the show will begin.
Scene 5, Hip Magazine, main office, New York City. Tuck is sitting in the main office waiting for Emma. There's a couch, a large meeting table, a couple of comfy chairs, and a few small chairs scattered around. Tuck is wearing a nice suit and a baseball cap. He is sitting in a chair across from a couch. He fidgets with a pen and notepad. The elevator dings. He quickly takes off his glasses and shoves them in his pocket. Emma, dressed in jeans and a t-shirt, enters. Tuck stands to greet Emma.
Hello, welcome to the offices of Hip. I'm Tuck.
Mr. Brockton, it's wonderful to finally meet you. I'm a big fan.
No need for such formalities. Please just call me Tuck, and I'm a big fan of yours as well.
Emma sits on the couch. Tuck sits in a chair across from her.
I hate to be this person, but did we meet at a red carpet event or something and I totally spaced it? Maybe you just have one of those faces?
We didn't, but you know how New York is. I could have sworn that my high school English teacher, Mr. St. Tiago, was writing the red line.
Oh yeah, that happens to me all the time.
Plus, guys with suits and goatees are a dime a dozen in this town.
This is true. I've lost dates before at award shows. It's just a sea of black tuxes.
Sad but true.
So, where would you like to start? Would you like to hear about my childhood, where I grew up?
No. Why don't we begin with your latest film?
Are you okay? You seem a bit nervous.
Yes, I'm fine. I guess I'm a little nervous since you requested me. It's rare that journalists have fans. That's part of the deal with journalism. Your words get read, but you're sort of anonymous and faceless. But hey, I get to spend my time interviewing celebrities, so I'm not complaining.
Right. Well, don't be nervous. We're just two human beings having a chat.
Okay. So why don't you tell me about this movie you've got coming out?
Right. That thing. It's coming out in the summer, the day the sun went out. It's your standard sci-fi disaster action flick, very Roland Emmerich. I'm the female sidekick, but it wasn't originally what I signed up for, which is why I'm skipping the press junkets.
You do realize you're not supposed to admit that, right?
Yeah, my agent and manager always tell me I need to be out there selling my movies because I'm a star now. And when it's a movie I'm really proud of, I'll talk it up until I'm blue in the face. But Sun is the kind of movie that is a sure thing. It doesn't need me.
Is that why you aren't proud of the film, because of the way it represents you?
Yes. When I first signed on for the role, it had more substance. I was a co-lead on equal footing with the male lead. She was a smart, funny character, but then the script doctors came in and the direction of the movie changed. The character was dumbed down significantly. By the end, I was only there for sex appeal. That being said, I refused to appear in some of the more revealing outfits the costume department sent my way.
Well, at least you stuck to your principles. Do you have a movie in production that you are proud of?
Yes, I do. I just finished this small indie film called Fidelity. I think it'll be out by the end of the year. Indie films are what I really love, but if I do the big Hollywood films, it gives me an opportunity to do something small for almost free.
One for them, one for you.
Exactly.
All right, so what is this film about?
Well, it's not really plot based, it's more character and mood based.
And why were you able to connect with it so deeply?
I found it refreshing to find a film that was willing to look at issues seriously, to actually have them at the forefront instead of merely a plot device. There's a lot of discussion of destiny that really spoke to me.
So, questions around destiny have always intrigued me, like whether it's possible for two people's lives to go completely separate ways only to reconnect again several years down the road.
Yeah, questions like that are fascinating. Life can be funny in the way it can bring people together in unexpected ways.
Tuck and Emma's eyes lock and the statement hangs in the air for a second. Tuck looks down at his notepad.
Yeah, the idea of fate makes life seem less chaotic and random.
I agree.
I like to think of life as a game of solitaire.
Oh?
Let's say you have a 7 of hearts and you have the option to move a 6 of clubs or a 6 of spades onto it. If you move either of the black cards onto the red, it will reveal another card underneath. Up to this point, it was just chance and luck of the draw that brought us to this far in the game, but based on which card you drew, it's the rest of the game has changed. And I think the same is true about fate. It can only go so far, and then you have to make a choice. This is where free will comes in.
I guess that makes sense.
So does the film address fate in a similar fashion?
Sort of. There's a scene in the film that had a profound effect on me while shooting. There's a violent car accident and my character's husband is killed, but I only have some bumps and scratches. She begins to wonder if her husband's death was part of some bigger plan and if she survived for a reason. She also begins to take stock of her life and to value the people around her, her friend and family that she took for granted.
It can be hard to know what you have sometimes. There's been times in my life where I felt incredibly connected to someone and I tried to understand why I was lucky enough to have them in my life.
Tuck starts staring off into space, lost in the moment.
It's always so painful when you lose someone you felt connected to and you don't know why.
It can be. My grandmother died. I was crushed. She was fairly young and it was completely unexpected. I went off the radar for a bit. I needed time alone because I didn't understand why she had to go. It was ultimately what helped me find God. I came to realize it was her time, that everything happens for a reason.
I didn't mean losing someone because of death.
Tuck pauses, opens and closes his mouth a couple of times, as if he's going to say something, but doesn't.
Are you okay? Do you have another question?
Never mind, it's not important. Do you really believe that, though? That there is a reason for everything?
Yeah. Don't you feel the same way? The way you were just rambling about fate, it would seem you would.
Yeah, but it's hard not to have doubts from time to time. What if what I believe to be fate is merely a distortion of reality? Memory can twist and bend reality. Maybe it's all just chance.
Tuck's phone rings.
Oh, I'm sorry. I have to take this. This is my editor.
Oh, no, that's fine. I understand.
Tuck excuses himself and goes to a corner of the office to speak discreetly. Chloe appears on the other side of the stage. Both are the only ones lit.
Hello.
Hey, champ, how's it going?
It's actually going all right, but I don't think I can handle this much longer.
Did she recognize you?
Sort of, but I BS'd my way through it, which I sort of feel dirty about. Plus, I don't think I can deal with this emotionally. It's stirring up a lot of shit that was better left unstirred.
So what do you want to do?
Make an excuse and get out of here. I almost told her that I was Tim, and then I stopped myself.
Would that be a terrible thing? I don't want to push you into doing something are uncomfortable with, but you were complaining about only being a puff piece guy. Here's your chance to do something bigger, and maybe you could finally find out what happened.
I don't know, maybe.
Listen, as your friend, if you just walk away, I wouldn't blame you. But I think if you don't at least try to get some closure on this, you'll be kicking yourself for the rest of your life.
You're probably right. I don't know what I'm gonna do, though.
Whatever you decide, I've got your back.
Thanks.
Tuck hangs up. Chloe leaves the stage. Tuck heads back toward Emma and sits down with some hesitancy.
Everything okay?
Yeah, I just needed to verify a quote for another interview I was working on.
Oh, with who?
Catchy band name?
Oh, I love them. Get the punk out of here. It's my current workout song.
It's a good one. So where were we?
We were talking about my movie Fidelity.
Yeah, so what else drew you to the movie?
Well, while the film doesn't directly deal with talking about God, it's very much about having faith.
Do you have a strong faith?
Yes, I'm a Christian.
I never knew that about you.
Why would you?
I mean, it never came up in my research.
It's not something I talk about much. Religion is something that can be difficult to discuss. There's a certain stigma attached to saying you're a Christian.
Try me. I like to think I'm fairly open-minded.
I believe in God, but I don't have some sort of persecution complex, nor am I gay bashing, right-wing conservative nutbar. I have found my own way to have God in my life.
And that is?
I've looked at other religions, and no other religion is so about love, compassion, and mercy. On the most base level, Christianity is based in love and forgiveness. It's a beautiful thing.
That's why I have an issue with a lot of so-called Christians, because too many people who claim to be Christian are the most intolerant people I know.
It saddens me how many people use religion to justify their intolerances. I came to my faith late in life, which is why I refuse to believe that some of my favorite people are going to hell because of who they love. I see the Bible as a flawed document. It's written by a man. Yes, God spoke through the men that wrote it, but men held the pen, and It's quite possible things got lost in translation.
Not to mention the various translations into different languages may have slightly different meanings.
Right. And even if you believe the Bible says homosexuality is a sin, Jesus is supposed to love all people. That doesn't mean he loves the sin, but the people twist it. Instead of love, it becomes hate.
How do you come to terms with that?
I try to think of the Bible like a cookbook. You can follow the recipes, but there's also room for interpretation and improvisation. The important thing is to get the general idea. Because of this view, the depth of my faith has been questioned by other Christians. It's funny. When I say I'm a Christian, people assume I hate gay people, and because I question the Bible, other Christians question my faith. I can't win.
Damned if you do, damned if you don't.
So it would seem. And yet I still have my belief.
In spite of all this?
Yes, because I keep it focused in an individual level in my personal relationship with God. I think it can get sketchy when you get a whole bunch of people together because people are fallible and prone to stupid mistakes, especially when a group mentally switches to mob mentality. But I can't deny there have been times in my life when I felt what I believe was the presence of God. And that helped me through some hard times. And no one, not the church or some fanatic, can take that away from me.
I've never really felt anything quite like that before.
Do you have faith in your life?
Religion in general isn't for me. I get why people have faith in religion. I rather have faith in people. And I do. I have faith in my friends and my family.
As long as you have faith in something, I think it's impossible to live without having faith, even if it's only in humanity.
With all the evil in the world, it can be hard to believe in humanity and that people are innately good. That in itself can be a leap of faith. I do believe that despite all of our flaws, that people are good. It can just be hard to find at times.
Sounds like you have the ideals of a Christian.
You don't need to be a Christian to know right from wrong or to see the good in others. This idea that basic human decency is exclusively a Christian ideal leads to a holier-than-thou superiority complex.
You seem to harbor a lot of resentment towards Christianity.
No, I don't. As you said, it's supposed to be a religion based in love. It is the practice of it that bothers me. In my heart, I don't believe 100% in the existence of God. I'm a skeptic. My mind is very logical, so I need to see tangible evidence, which I have yet to see.
And what qualify as tangible evidence?
I don't know. I guess I'd know it when I saw it. It isn't like I'm expecting God to come down and have a chat with me. Hey, Chuck, what the fuck? You don't believe in me? You kind of suck.
I don't think God would say that.
Well, you didn't let me finish. Buck up. You're in luck. I'm a forgiving guy. I mean, if there's a God, I'd like to think he'd really be into rhyming.
I don't know. Maybe.
I was trying to be funny. You would have...
Tuck catches himself, but realizes it's too late.
I would have what?
You would have laughed at that in the past.
Tuck removes his hat and puts his glasses on. Emma looks confused for a second and then realizes who Tuck is.
Wait, Tim?
Yeah, Tuck is my pen name.
Damn it! I knew! I recognized you! What the hell? Why didn't you say something?
Last I knew, you weren't speaking to me. I didn't think you'd talk to me if you knew it was me.
Wait, you didn't think I could be professional? How did you think I am?
I don't know. When I realized I was going to talk to you, all those emotions came flooding back. I felt 18 again.
Well, I'm at a loss. I feel violated. You should have either admitted to being Tim all along or should have just remained Tuck the whole time. least then I would have been none the wiser.
I wasn't even going to say anything, but I guess I'm searching for some closure.
Is that what this is about? Closure? To what? Something that happened nearly a decade ago? Has it really been bothering you that much?
I didn't think it was. I thought I had left it in the past, but then you came very directly back into my life.
Well, you were right. It's in the past. Leave it there. If you want closure, go see the day the sun went out.
But all I want to know is why our friendship ended. Doesn't it seem like we were brought together for a reason? It can't be mere coincidence out of all the writers in the world that you chose me to do this interview.
You think fate brought us together to give you some finality on something that you admittedly haven't thought about in years?
I don't know how fate works. Stranger things have happened.
Oh, I thought it was like solitaire. You know what? I thought it was cool in your interview how you go off on weird little detours. But now I see things more clearly. You just like hearing the sound of your own voice and prattle about your views. Guess what, Tuck? Not everything is about you. Clearly, some people never change.
What's that supposed to mean?
You know exactly what it means. But sure, let's play your game and say we were brought together by fate. You said the fate can only bring you so far. Then you have to make a choice. Well, I'm choosing not to give you your closure.
But why? What is it to you?
Because if you are so dense as to not know why it ended, you aren't deserving of the answer.
Oh, come on. We were best friends.
Are you kidding me? Best friends? We were never that close. You were just some guy I hung out with.
Oh, come on. I was more than that.
Not much more. Because isn't it telling I haven't thought about you once in years?
Well, clearly I must have meant something. Otherwise, you wouldn't be so pissed.
I'm pissed because of how you manipulated this situation. And yeah, like you said, this encounter has brought up some long dormant feelings for me too. I guess I'm still bitter.
But what was all that talk about love and forgiveness? Was that all just talk? An act for the journalist to showcase how deep and religious you are?
How dare you question my faith?
Forgive me if, given the circumstances, I might question how deeply you believe the values you so passionately preached to me just mere moments ago. It certainly seems like you were just giving lip service to the ideas of love and forgiveness. Where's your compassion?
I also said humans are fallible because in the heat of the moment, sometimes your sense of compassion and forgiveness can be blinded.
And if you're aware of the block, then why can't you remove it?
Because perhaps I'm not as good of a person as I'd like to think I am. Because I'm choosing to make the mistake I'll repent later.
Emma stands up to leave.
Well, whatever I did must have been pretty terrible, and for what it's worth, I am sorry.
Fuck you. This interview is over. Have a nice day.
Emma walks away. Tuck waits a little while and then slowly walks away as well.
Okay, so that is the end of part 3. Come back next week for part 4, where we get a little bit of an epilogue, and Tuck has to do a little soul searching and grow up a bit.